Chronology, May 1985. May 5th. In Fleury-Mérogis, the prisoners of the D4 wing riot and wreck the whole wing. May 6th. Again in Fleury, 300 people from D1 wing refused to return from their hour of exercise. 60 of them set fire to the infirmary. May 7. In Bois d'Assé, about 15 juvenile detainees, inmates under 18 years old, usually held in separate blocks or prisons, climb onto the roof, remaining there until May 9, supported and supplied by their fellow prisoners. May 8. In Lille, 10 or so prisoners climb onto the roof. In Bastia, inmates refuse to eat prison food in solidarity with the other prisons. The refusal of prison food is not exactly the same as a hunger strike, though this may be one way of carrying it out. May 9. In Fresnes, 400 people climb onto the roofs and clash with cops, who kill one prisoner. In Compiègne, about 10 prisoners climb onto the roofs following those of the morning shift. At Bonne Nouvelle in Rouen, about 15 juvenile prisoners climb onto the roofs, while other prisoners wreck their cells. After apparent negotiations, about 30 climbed back on the roof in solidarity with Fresnes. May 10. From the 9th through the 10th, some prisoners went up on the roof in Douai. There was a brief clash with the CRS, French riot police. In Amiens, about 15 prisoners climb on the roofs. In Nice, about 16 prisoners on the roofs join together with about 20 juvenile prisoners during a clash with the cops. In Béziers, 130 prisoners take 3 prison guards and 1 male nurse hostage for several hours. May 11. Évreux, Sens, and Coutances, prisoners climb onto the roofs and clash with cops. The same thing happens the following day in Saint-Brieuc. May 19. Prisoners wreck Montpellier prison entirely, arson and destruction, and clash with cops. Outside, the crowd, consisting of prisoners' relatives and friends, attack the cops from behind. Moreover, numerous disturbances break out in various prisons, with the destruction of cells and attempts at arson, in Rennes, Angers, Metz, etc., as well as collective refusal of prison food. Lyon men and women in Fleury, Ajaccio, Auxerre, Saint-Malo, Avignon, Chambéry, etc. There are many suicides during this time. Rebels in Douai and Évreux are given heavy sentences on the pretext of damages committed. June 1985. June 17. A barricade is set on fire in the Nantes-Paris railroad line near Nantes in solidarity with the prison revolts. June 20th. Sabotage of the TGV, high-speed train railroad lines installations in the south of Paris. June 27. A barricade is set on fire on the Toulouse-Paris railroad line near Toulouse. June 30th. On the night between June 30 and July 1st, the printing of the Paris daily papers is paralyzed by sabotage of the IPLO print shop near Nantes. We decided to impose a half-day's silence on the national press in honor of the rebellious jailbirds. The action is also dedicated to all the dead prisoners who were suicided. All these papers are well known for their hostility to the recent movements and revolt in the prisons. July 1985. July 1st. Sabotage of the railroad installations on the Nîmes-Terrasson line. Each of these actions caused prolonged interruptions of railway traffic and hours of delay for the daily trains. The demands were always the same: a reduction of punishment for all condemned prisoners, the release of all prisoners awaiting trial, the definitive stopping of all deportation measures against immigrants, the cancellation of sanctions for all the rebels. July 2nd. The Paris-Brussels TEE train is stopped near Compiègne. The 4 demands are spray-painted on it. Windows are smashed, and copies of the pamphlet, "Freedom is the Crime," are thrown through them. July 5th. Sabotage on the Paris-Le Havre line. 4 people are arrested in Rouen 2 days later and imprisoned for 3 months in retaliation to this action. July 8th. From the 7th to the 8th, prisoners in Chaumont climb onto the roofs, demonstrating their anxiety in the face of the forthcoming presidential amnesty of July 14th, Bastille Day, that promises to be particularly meager. There are conflicts with the cops. 4 of the rebels receive heavy sentences. July 9th. An anonymous act of sabotage is carried out against the Paris-Strasbourg line which passes near Chaumont. July 12th. In the early morning, 2 Paris subway lines are blocked for several hours after heavy objects are thrown on them in solidarity with the Rouen 4 and the rebels of Chaumont. The 4 demands are once again publicized. July 13. In Lyon, 2 official cars are set on fire in solidarity with the city's prisoners. Even before the details of the concession are known, various disturbances resume in various prisons. Fleury, Luz-le-Lille, Toul, etc. July 14. At St. Paul Prison in Lyon, about 20 prisoners of the psychiatric unit rebel, destroying and burning. The pathetic presidential amnesty is announced, a 1 to 2 month reduction of short-term sentences. The JAP, Judges for the Application of Penalties, will get out in the next few days. Numerous disturbances will accompany the news in the country's prisons. July 15th. During the night between the 14th and 15th, tires of the convoy that accompanies the Tour de France are slashed, immobilizing about 100 vehicles, in solidarity with the condemned rebels. In Toulouse, a business that employs prisoners is destroyed by fire. August 1985. August 18. In Lille, dozens of prisoners climb onto the roofs. August 18th. In Lyon, the ROP print shop for Parisian daily newspapers is wrecked. Publication and distribution are seriously affected. Once again, the aim is to castigate the papers for their lies and hostility toward the rebels. The text, the truth about some actions, is left on the premises. To report once again, during disturbances in Guadeloupe, the escape of about 30 prisoners from the Pointe-à-Pitre prison following a revolt. Trop de sous-littérature terrassable à plat de couture, force de